Dr. Lisa Carter wiped the sweat from her face as she stood at the edge of the ice cave. The planet Kepler 442 billion was nothing but frozen rock and endless cold. She had been digging here for 3 weeks, looking for old alien ruins. Her team was getting tired, and their food was running low. "Found something down here," Jake Morrison called from deep inside the cave. His voice echoed off the icy walls. Lisa grabbed her tools and hurried down the slippery path. The cave went deeper than they thought. Strange blue crystals grew from the walls, giving off a soft light that made everything look magical. Jake was standing in front of a wall of clear crystal. Inside the crystal, Lisa could see the shape of a man. He looked like he was sleeping. But something was wrong. His clothes were old, very old. They looked like something from Earth's past, not from their time. "This can't be right," Lisa said, looking closer. "Those clothes, they're from the medieval times. That's impossible." The man inside the crystal had dark hair and a beard. He wore metal armor and had a sword at his side. His face looked peaceful, like he was having a good dream. Captain Ryan Torres came down to see what they had found. He was a big man with gray hair who had seen many strange things in space. But even he looked surprised when he saw the frozen man. "How long has he been in there?" Ryan asked. Lisa took readings with her scanner. The numbers made her heart beat faster. "Captain, this is crazy, but my scanner says this man has been here for about 800 years. 800 years. Ryan shook his head. "That's impossible. Humans weren't traveling in space 800 years ago. We were still living on Earth." Dr. Nathan Wells came down to look at the body. He was the ship's doctor and knew more about keeping people alive than anyone else on the crew. He studied the crystal and the man inside it. "The crystal seems to be keeping him cold, like our freezing machines on the ship," Nathan said. "His body looks perfect. No damage at all." "You think he's still alive?" Jake asked. "Maybe," Nathan said slowly. "The crystal might have saved his life all these years." Lisa looked at her team. They all had the same question in their eyes. Should they try to wake him up? "We need to tell the people back on Earth about this," Lisa said. "This changes everything we know about human history." Ryan nodded. "But first, we need to get him back to the ship. If there's any chance he's alive, we have to try to help him." It took them 6 hours to carefully cut the crystal away from the cave wall. The whole piece was too heavy for them to carry, so they had to use the ship's lifting machines. The crystal never got warm, even when they brought it inside the ship. They put the crystal in the ship's medical room. Nathan set up all his machines around it. The other crew members came to look. Amy Foster, the ship's mind doctor, stared at the man in wonder. Marcus Kane, their security chief, looked worried. "What if he's dangerous?" Marcus asked. "We don't know anything about him. He's just a man," Amy said. "Look at him. He's probably scared and confused." Dr. Kevin Ross, who studied old things like Lisa, was taking pictures of everything. His sword, his armor, his clothes, they all look real. This isn't a fake. Somehow a man from medieval times ended up on this planet. Nathan started the warming process very slowly. The crystal began to crack as it got warmer. Clear water dripped onto the floor. The man's body stayed perfectly still. "His heart isn't beating yet," Nathan said, watching his machines. "But his brain is showing activity. Something is happening in there." Hours passed. Lisa couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about what this meant. If humans were traveling in space 800 years ago, where did they go? Why didn't anyone on Earth know about it? On the second day, the crystal was almost gone. The man lay on Nathan's medical table, still not breathing. Nathan had put tubes and wires on him to help his body work. "Come on," Nathan whispered. "Wake up." Suddenly, the man's chest moved. He took a breath, then another. His eyes opened slowly. They were green, like spring grass. The man looked around the room with confusion and fear. He tried to sit up, but the wires held him down. He said something in a language that sounded like Old English, but different. "It's okay," Amy said softly. "You're safe. We're here to help you." The man looked at her face, then at the others. His eyes were smart and careful. He said something else in his old language. Lisa stepped forward. She had studied old languages in school. "I think he's speaking medieval English," she said. "Very old English." The man heard her and spoke again, this time more carefully. "Where, ami." His words were hard to understand, but they could make them out. "You're on a spaceship," Amy said slowly. "You've been sleeping for a very long time." The man's eyes went wide. He looked at the lights and machines around him like they were magic. "Spaceship," he said. "What's your name?" Lisa asked. The man thought for a moment. "William," he said. "William of Ashford. I was, a knight." Ryan stepped forward. "William, you've been asleep for 800 years. The world has changed a lot." William tried to sit up again. This time, Nathan helped him. William looked at his hands, then at his body. Everything seemed to work fine. 800 years, William said, his voice getting stronger. "That cannot be true." Lisa showed him a picture on her computer screen. It showed Earth from space, with cities that glowed at night and ships flying between the stars. William stared at the picture for a long time. "Magic," he whispered. "No," Lisa said. "Science. Humans learned to build machines that can fly between the stars. We live on many worlds now." William was quiet for a while. Then he asked, "What happened to England?" "To my home? England is still there," Ryan said. "But it's very different now. Everything is different." William nodded slowly. He was a smart man, and he was beginning to understand that his old world was gone forever. "Why was I sleeping?" he asked. That was the question none of them could answer. How did a medieval knight end up frozen on a planet far from Earth? And why did he look so young and healthy after 800 years? Nathan checked William's body with his machines. Everything looked normal, but better than normal. William was stronger and healthier than most people. "We don't know why you were sleeping," Lisa said, "but we're going to help you figure it out." William looked at each of their faces. These people were strange to him, but they seemed kind. He was far from home, far from everything he knew. But he was alive, and that was something. "Thank you," he said simply. Outside the ship, the stars shone cold and bright. None of them knew that their discovery would change the galaxy forever. They had just woken up the most dangerous human who ever lived, and somewhere in the dark of space, alien eyes were watching, and alien minds were planning. William of Ashford sat in the ship's main room, staring at the big window that showed the stars. 3 days had passed since he woke up, and his mind was still trying to understand everything. The stars moved slowly past the window as the ship flew through space. Dr. Amy Foster sat beside him with a small computer. She was trying to teach him about the modern world, but it was hard work. "How do you explain 800 years of change to someone from medieval times?" "This is Earth now," Amy said, showing him pictures on her screen. "Your England is still there, but people live very differently." William looked at the pictures of tall buildings and flying cars. "It looks like a dream," he said. His English was getting better every day. Amy was amazed at how fast he learned. "How do you learn so quickly?" she asked him. William touched his head. "Something feels different up here, like my mind is clearer than before, sharper." Dr. Nathan Wells had been studying William's blood and found strange things. William's body was not normal. He was stronger and faster than regular people. His mind worked better too. Nathan thought the crystal had changed him somehow. Lisa Carter spent her time trying to understand how William got to that planet. She looked at star maps and old records, but found nothing. No human ships had ever been to Kepler 44b before their team arrived. It doesn't make sense, Lisa told Captain Ryan Torres. How did he get there? We didn't have spaceships 800 years ago. Ryan was worried about something else. Word about William was spreading through the galaxy. Other alien races were hearing about the discovery, and some of them were not happy. The ship's computer beeped with an incoming message. Ryan read it, and his face went pale. What is it? Lisa asked. The Zephyrian Empire wants to talk to us, Ryan said. They're sending ships. The Zephyrians were a powerful alien race that controlled many worlds. They had blue skin and were very tall. Most humans were afraid of them because they had strong weapons and big armies. Marcus Kane, the security chief, came to the bridge. Captain, I don't like this. The Zephyrians only send ships when they want to fight or take something. William was listening to their talk. Who are these Zephyrians? He asked. Aliens, Amy explained. People from other worlds. Some are friendly, some are not. The Zephyrians are not friendly. William nodded. Like enemy kingdoms. I understand. Marcus looked at William. Can you fight? William smiled for the first time since he woke up. I am a knight. Fighting is what I do. Marcus decided to teach William how to use modern weapons. They went to the ship's training room. Marcus showed William an energy gun that shot beams of light instead of arrows. Point and pull the trigger, Marcus said. But be careful. These weapons are much more powerful than your old sword. William held the gun and aimed at a practice target. When he pulled the trigger, the beam hit the center perfectly. Marcus was surprised. Have you used one of these before? No, William said, but it feels right in my hands. They practiced with different weapons. William learned fast, very fast. But he also showed Marcus some things about fighting with swords and hand-to-hand combat. William's fighting style was different from anything Marcus had seen. You move like you can see the future, Marcus said after they practiced fighting each other. Sometimes I can, William said quietly. I see what you will do before you do it. That made Marcus nervous. How could anyone see the future? While they were training, the ship's computer detected alien ships coming toward them. 3 Zephyrian warships were flying fast in their direction. Captain Ryan called everyone to the bridge. They'll be here in 6 hours, he said. I don't think they're coming to talk. William came to the bridge, still wearing his practice armor. What do these aliens want? Probably you, Ryan said. You're the most important discovery in human history. They might want to study you, or capture you, or kill me, William finished. We won't let that happen, Amy said. William looked at the crew around him. These people had saved his life and were trying to protect him. In his time, that made them his friends, and knights protected their friends. Tell me about their ships, William said to Marcus. Marcus showed him pictures of Zephyrian warships. They were big and covered with weapons. They're much stronger than our ship, Marcus said. William studied the pictures carefully. They look heavy, slow to turn, like big castles. What does that mean? Ryan asked. In my time, we learned that big castles have weak spots. You just have to find them. The hours passed quickly. William spent time learning about space combat and the ship's weapons, but he also spent time thinking like a medieval battle commander. War was war, whether it was with swords or spaceships. Dr. Kevin Ross found William in the library, reading about space battles on the computer. You learn very fast, Kevin said. I have too, William replied. These people saved my life. Now I must help save theirs. When the Zephyrian ships arrived, they sent a message to the human ship. The alien commander appeared on the screen. He was tall with blue skin and cold yellow eyes. Humans, the alien said. You will give us the Ancient One. We know you found something important. Captain Ryan stepped forward. We found a human being. He belongs with us. He belongs to whoever is strong enough to take him, the alien commander said. You have 1 hour to decide. The screen went dark. Well, Ryan said. That didn't go well. William walked to the captain's chair. In my time, when enemies came to take what was ours, we fought them. Their ships are too strong, Marcus said. Then we must be smarter, William replied. William had an idea. It was crazy, but it might work. He explained his plan to the crew. It was based on an old trick knights used against bigger armies. You want to do what? Ryan asked. Trust me, William said. I know how to fight enemies who think they are stronger. The plan was dangerous, but they had no choice. The Zephyrian ships were getting closer, and their weapons were charging up. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Blake was the ship's pilot. She listened to William's plan and shook her head. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Can you do it? William asked. Sarah smiled. I can try. The battle was about to begin. William stood on the bridge wearing armor that Marcus had made for him. It was new armor, made for space combat, but it looked like the armor of an ancient knight. Whatever happens, William said to the crew, remember that courage is not about being unafraid. Courage is about doing what must be done, even when you are afraid. The Zephyrian ships opened fire, but William's plan was already working. The human ship moved in ways the aliens did not expect, using tricks that came from 800 years of forgotten battle. William watched the enemy ships and gave orders to Sarah. Somehow, he seemed to know where the alien weapons would shoot before they fired. Turn left, now, he called out. Sarah turned the ship, just as alien fire passed through the space where they had been. How did you know? She asked. I saw it in their movements, William said. Ships are like horses. You can tell what they will do by watching how they move. The battle was just beginning, but already the Zephyrian commander was confused. How were these weak humans avoiding his weapons? On the bridge of the human ship, William of Ashford stood like the knight he was, ready to protect his new friends with all the skill and courage he possessed. The galaxy was about to learn that humans could be very dangerous enemies when someone they cared about was threatened. And William was about to discover that 800 years of sleep had changed him in ways that no one, not even he, could imagine. The space battle had been going on for 2 hours. The human ship Horizon's Edge was much smaller than the 3 Zephyrian warships, but somehow it was still flying and fighting. William stood on the bridge, calling out directions to pilot Sarah Blake. His eyes never left the main screen showing the enemy ships. They're going to fire at our left side, William said calmly. How can you know that? Sarah asked, but she was already turning the ship. Bright energy beams shot past them, missing by just a few feet. Captain Ryan Torres watched in amazement. William had been predicting the enemy's moves for 2 hours, and he was right every time. It was like he could see into the future. Turn toward the big ship, William said. Go straight at it. That's crazy, Sarah said. They'll destroy us. Trust me, William said. Sarah turned the ship toward the largest Zephyrian warship. It was 3 times bigger than their ship and covered with weapons. The alien commander must have thought the humans were giving up. Now turn hard right and fire at their engine section, William said. Sarah did exactly what he said. Their weapons hit the alien ship's engines, and one of them exploded. The big ship started spinning out of control. Impossible, came the angry voice of the Zephyrian commander over the radio. How did you know our weak spot? William smiled. In my time, I fought many battles. The bigger the enemy, the more weak spots they have. Dr. Lisa Carter was watching everything from her station. William's fighting was amazing, but something else was bothering her. She had been studying the readings from William's body during the battle. Nathan, she called to Dr. Wells. Look at these readings. William's brain activity is off the charts. Nathan looked at his medical screens. His mind is working faster than any human I've ever seen. It's like he's thinking 10 times faster than normal. And look at his reflexes, Lisa said. He's reacting 2 things before they happen. Amy Foster was also watching William carefully. As the ship's mind doctor, she knew that William was different from other people. But during this battle, he was becoming something else entirely. William suddenly turned to Marcus Kane. "Get your security team ready. The aliens are going to try to board our ship." "How do you know?" Marcus asked. "Because that's what I would do," William said. Sure enough, the smallest Zephyrian ship started flying straight toward them. It was going to ram their ship and send alien soldiers aboard. "All security teams to battle stations," Marcus called over the ship's radio. The alien ship hit them with a loud crash. Holes were torn in the side of their ship, and Zephyrian soldiers started coming through. William picked up his sword and an energy gun. "I'll help fight them," he said. "You don't know how to fight aliens," Marcus said. "Fighting is fighting," William replied. The Zephyrian soldiers were tall, with blue skin and 4 arms each. They carried powerful weapons and wore thick armor. They looked very dangerous. But when William met them in the ship's hallway, something strange happened. He moved faster than anyone thought possible. His sword cut through their armor like it was made of paper. His energy gun never missed its target. The aliens had never seen anything like it. This human moved like lightning and fought like a demon. One alien soldier tried to grab William with all 4 arms. William spun around and cut off 2 of the alien's arms with his sword. Then he shot the alien with his energy gun. Marcus and his security team could barely keep up with William. He was moving so fast that sometimes he looked like a blur. "William, slow down," Marcus called. "We can't follow you." But William couldn't slow down. Something inside him had awakened during the battle. He felt stronger and faster than ever before. He could see where the enemies would move before they moved. He could hear their thoughts, almost in 10 minutes. All the alien soldiers were dead or running back to their ship. The Zephyrian commander's voice came over the radio again. "What are you? You cannot be human." William picked up the radio. I am William of Ashford, Knight of England, and you have attacked my friends." "This is not possible," the alien commander said. "Humans are weak. Humans are slow." "You are wrong," William said simply. Dr. Lisa Carter had been recording everything. The readings from William's body were incredible. During the fight, he had moved faster than human eyes could follow. His strength was 10 times greater than normal. "Kevin," she called to Dr. Ross. "Remember those crystals where we found William?" "What about them?" Kevin asked. "I think they did more than just keep him alive. I think they changed him." They went back to look at the crystal samples they had brought from the planet. Under the microscope, they could see tiny machines inside the crystal, too small to see with normal eyes. "These aren't natural crystals," Lisa said. "They're some kind of technology. Very advanced technology." "But who made them?" Kevin asked. That was the big question. The crystal technology was more advanced than anything humans or aliens had ever seen. While they were studying the crystals, the battle in space continued. The damaged Zephyrian ship was trying to escape, but William had other ideas. "We cannot let them go," he told Captain Ryan. "They will bring more ships. We can't fight." "More ships," Ryan said. "We're lucky to survive this battle." William looked at the captain with eyes that seemed to glow. "I know where they're going. I can feel it." "That's impossible," Ryan said. "Many things about me are impossible," William replied. He was right. Somehow, William knew that the Zephyrian ships were heading to a nearby star system to call for help. He knew because he could sense their thoughts, their plans, their fears. "Take us to the Vega system," William said. "That's where they're going." Sarah Blake looked at the captain. "Should I listen to him?" Ryan studied William's face. The medieval knight had saved their lives and fought like no human had ever fought. Maybe impossible things were possible now. "Do it," Ryan said. They reached the Vega system before the damaged Zephyrian ships. William's knowledge had been perfect again, but when they arrived, they found something that made everyone afraid. A huge alien space station was floating near. The star. It was bigger than a city, and covered with more weapons than they could count. That's a Zephyrian war station, Marcus said. If they reach that station, they'll send hundreds of ships after us. Then we stop them here, William said. With what? Ryan asked. That station could destroy 1,000 ships like ours. William studied the space station on the main screen. His mind was working faster than ever, seeing patterns and weak spots that others could not see. Every castle can be taken, he said finally. You just need to know where to hit it. Dr. Amy Foster was watching William with growing concern. He was changing before their eyes. His humanity was still there, but something else was growing stronger inside him. William, she said softly, are you still you? William turned to look at her. For a moment, his eyes were gentle and human. I am still me, Amy, but I am also becoming something more, something I was meant to be. What do you mean? I don't know yet, William said, but I think we're about to find out. The 3 Zephyrian ships were almost at their space station. Once they arrived, the human ship would face impossible odds. But William of Ashford was no longer just a medieval knight. He was something the galaxy had never seen before, and he was about to show everyone just how dangerous a human could be. When his friends were in danger, the real battle was about to begin. On the space station, alarms were ringing. The Zephyrian military leaders were gathering, preparing to destroy the human ship and capture the mysterious human, who fought like a god of war. They had no idea that they were about to face the greatest warrior in human history, enhanced by technology beyond their understanding, and driven by the ancient code of knighthood that said a true knight never abandons his friends. The hunt was about to become something much more dangerous. William stood at the ship's main window, staring at the massive Zephyrian space station, but his mind wasn't focused on the immediate danger. Something else was calling to him, pulling at his thoughts like a distant memory. Captain, William said suddenly, turning to Ryan Torres. I need to go to New Avalon. New Avalon. Ryan looked confused. That's an abandoned human colony world. It's been empty for 200 years. No, William said, his voice certain. It's not empty, and it holds answers we need. Dr. Lisa Carter looked up from her computer. William, how do you know about New Avalon? That colony was established long after your time. William touched his head, wincing slightly. I remember things, pieces of memories that aren't mine, but somehow are mine. The crystals did more than change my body. They awakened something in my mind. Dr. Nathan Wells had been monitoring William's brain activity since the battle. His neural patterns keep changing, Nathan said quietly to Lisa. It's like new pathways are forming in his brain every hour. The Zephyrian ships had reached their space station. Soon, dozens of warships would come hunting for them, but William seemed unconcerned about the immediate threat. Trust me, William said to Captain Ryan. New Avalon has what we need to end this fight. Amy Foster studied William's face. What kind of memories are you having? I remember being a knight, William said slowly, but I also remember things that haven't happened yet, or that happened long ago. I remember building great ships that could travel between stars. I remember wars against aliens who thought humans were weak. Kevin Ross, who studied ancient history, felt his heart beat faster. Are you saying humans had star travel technology hundreds of years ago? Yes, William said, but it was hidden, forgotten. The knowledge was buried when something terrible happened. What terrible thing? Lisa asked. William closed his eyes, trying to focus on the broken memories. A war that almost destroyed humanity. We had to hide, had to pretend to be less than we were. Some of us went to sleep, waiting for the right time to wake up. Captain Ryan made a decision that would change everything. Sarah, set course for New Avalon. Maximum speed. Sir, that's 3 days travel, Sarah Blake said. The Zephyrians will catch us. Let them try. William said with a smile that wasn't entirely human anymore. During the 3-day journey to New Avalon, William continued to change. His memories became clearer, and his abilities grew stronger. He could now sense things happening on other ships, even when they were far away. "The Zephyrians are following us," William told Marcus Kane. 50 ships, maybe more. They're very angry." "How can you know that?" Marcus asked. "I can feel their thoughts," William said matter-of-factly. "Anger is a very loud emotion." Dr. Lisa Carter spent the journey studying everything they knew about New Avalon. The colony had been established 300 years ago, but the colonists had vanished mysteriously after only 100 years. No one knew what happened to them. "William," Lisa said, showing him pictures of the abandoned colony. "Do you recognize any of this?" William looked at the images of empty cities and forgotten buildings. "Yes," he said quietly. "I remember building some of those structures, but not in this life. In another life, long ago." "That's impossible," Kevin Ross said. "You're only about 30 years old." "Am I?" William asked. "How old is a mind that remembers things from 1,000 years ago?" When they reached New Avalon, they found a world of empty cities covered by jungle growth. The buildings were strange, mixing medieval architecture with advanced technology that no one recognized. "Life signs are all over the planet," reported Tony Mitchell, the ship's communications officer. "But they're not human or alien. There's something else." William guided them to land near the largest city. As soon as he stepped onto the planet's surface, he began walking with purpose toward a massive building in the center of the city. "He knows where he's going," Amy Foster observed. The building was part castle and part something that looked like a spaceport. William led them through hallways filled with strange machines that hummed with power, despite being abandoned for centuries. "This technology is incredible," Lisa said, studying the walls. "It's more advanced than anything we have now." William stopped in front of a massive door, covered with symbols. He placed his hand on a crystal panel, and the door opened with a deep rumbling sound. Inside was a chamber that took their breath away. The walls were covered with star maps showing the entire galaxy. Hundreds of human worlds were marked, worlds that modern humanity had never heard of. "This is the truth," William said, his voice echoing in the chamber. "Humans have been traveling the stars for over 1,000 years. We built an empire that spanned half the galaxy." "What happened to it?" Ryan asked. William walked to the center of the chamber, where a large crystal formation stood like an altar. When he touched it, the crystal began to glow, and images filled the air around them. They saw the history of the first exodus, when humans first reached the stars during Earth's dark ages. They saw great human cities on distant worlds, and fleets of ships more advanced than anything in the modern galaxy. But they also saw the war that destroyed it all. A coalition of alien races, led by the ancestors of the Zephyrians, had attacked human space. The war was terrible, destroying entire star systems. "We were winning," William said, watching the images. "But we realized that victory would mean the destruction of too many innocent lives, alien and human alike. So our leaders made a choice." The images showed human leaders deciding to hide their true strength. They destroyed most of their advanced technology and pretended to be defeated. Some humans stayed on the colony worlds, living simple lives. Others, like William, were put into crystal sleep, waiting for the day when humanity would need its guardians. Again, "You're not just a knight," Lisa said, understanding at last. "You're a guardian. A protector left behind to wake up when humanity was threatened." "Yes," William said, "and I'm not the only one." He touched the crystal again, and it sent a signal across the galaxy. On dozens of worlds, other crystals began to glow. Other guardians, who had been sleeping for centuries, began to wake up, but their moment of discovery was interrupted by alarms from their ship. Rachel Young, their navigator, called down from orbit. 50 Zephyrian warships just entered the system. They'll be here in 2 hours. Commander General Vorthok, the leader of the Zephyrian fleet, spoke to them over the radio. His voice was filled with rage and fear. Ancient human, you will surrender now. We know what you are. We know what you represent. We cannot allow your kind to awaken. William picked up the radio. My kind has been awake for 3 days, Vorthok, and more of us are waking up every hour. We destroyed your empire once, the alien commander snarled. We can do it again. You destroyed our empire because we let you, William replied calmly. We chose peace over victory. But that was a long time ago, and you have threatened my friends. That changes everything. William began activating systems throughout the ancient city. Machines that had slept for centuries came to life. The air filled with the hum of incredible power. What are you doing? Marcus Kane asked. Preparing for war, William said. The Guardians are awake, and the galaxy is about to remember why humans were once feared. Dr. Amy Foster watched William with growing concern. He was still the kind man who had thanked them for saving his life, but he was also becoming something else. Something powerful and ancient, and possibly dangerous. William, she said, remember who you are. Remember that you're human. William turned to her with eyes that glowed with inner fire. I remember everything, Amy. I remember being human, but I also remember being more than human. And right now, my friends need me to be more. Above them, the Zephyrian fleet was preparing to destroy the planet. They had come with enough firepower to burn New Avalon to ashes. But they had no idea that they were about to face the awakened guardian of humanity's lost golden age, fighting with technology that made their weapons look like toys. The battle for New Avalon was about to begin, and it would determine the future of human civilization in the galaxy. William of Ashford, Knight of England and guardian of the first Exodus, stood ready to show the galaxy that humans had never been as weak as they pretended to be. The reckoning had come at last. The sky above New Avalon turned dark as 50 Zephyrian warships blocked out the sun. General Vorthok's voice boomed across the planet from his massive command ship. This is your final warning, humans. Surrender the Guardian, or we will destroy your entire world. William stood in the ancient control room, his hands moving across crystal panels that responded to his touch like they had been waiting for him. Around him, the crew of the Horizon's Edge watched in amazement as the abandoned city came alive. William, Captain Ryan Torres said, their ships have enough firepower to turn this planet into dust. How can we fight them? William smiled, and for a moment he looked like the simple knight they had first awakened. Ryan, my friend, you saved my life. Now let me save yours. He placed both hands on the central crystal, and suddenly the air around them filled with light. The ancient city's defense systems, hidden for centuries, began to activate. Massive energy shields appeared over the city, shimmering like soap bubbles, but strong enough to stop alien weapons. Gun turrets rose from hidden places in the buildings, their barrels pointing toward the sky. Impossible, came Vorthok's voice over the radio. This technology was destroyed centuries ago. Nothing was destroyed, William replied calmly. It was only hidden, waiting for the right time. The first wave of Zephyrian ships opened fire. Their energy beams struck the shields over the city and bounced harmlessly away. The alien weapons that had terrorized dozens of worlds could not even scratch the ancient human defenses. Dr. Lisa Carter was recording everything on her computer. The energy readings are incredible. This shield technology is at least 1,000 years ahead of anything we have now. But William was just getting started. He touched another crystal panel, and suddenly they could all feel something happening across the galaxy. It was like a ripple in space itself, a signal that traveled faster than light to every human world, on distant planets. In hidden places that had been forgotten for centuries, more crystals began to glow. More guardians began to wake up. Ben Clark, the ship's engineer, was monitoring communications from across the galaxy. "Captain, I'm picking up signals from dozens of human worlds. People are reporting strange lights and ancient buildings coming to life." Holly Reed, their navigator, looked pale as she read her instruments. "Sir, I'm detecting ships. Hundreds of ships, appearing out of nowhere all across human space." William nodded with satisfaction. The first Exodus fleet was never destroyed. It was hidden, waiting. The Guardians are awakening, and they're calling their ships home. Through the viewing window, they could see the Zephyrian fleet trying to break through the city's shields. But their weapons were useless against technology that was far beyond their understanding. General Vorthok was becoming desperate. "All ships, focus fire on the central building. Destroy the source of their power." 50 alien warships turned all their weapons toward William's position. The combined firepower would have been enough to destroy a moon. But when the energy beams hit the building's shields, something unexpected happened. Instead of being destroyed, the building absorbed the energy and became brighter. "Their weapons are powering our defenses," William explained to the amazed crew. "The more they shoot at us, the stronger we become." Dr. Nathan Wells was monitoring William's vital signs and was amazed by what he saw. William's brain activity is off the charts. It's like he's connected to every system on this planet. "I am connected," William said without turning around. "The crystals didn't just change my body. They made me part of the network that connects all the Guardian sites across the galaxy." Amy Foster moved closer to William. "Are you still human?" William turned to look at her, and his eyes were glowing with the same light as the crystals. "I am what humans were always meant to become, Amy. We are not the weak race that the galaxy thinks we are. We never were." Suddenly, space around New Avalon began to shimmer. One by one, ships began appearing out of nowhere. But these weren't alien ships. They were human ships. But unlike any that had been seen for centuries, the ships were beautiful and deadly, their hulls shining like mirrors, and their weapons crackling with energy that made the Zephyrian weapons look like toys. "The Guardian fleet has arrived," William said simply. There were hundreds of them, appearing from hidden bases throughout the galaxy. Each ship was crewed by humans who had been waiting in secret for this moment, keeping the old knowledge alive. Commander Tony Mitchell on the communication station was listening to signals from the new fleet. "Captain, they're asking for orders from the Guardian." William walked to the communication panel. "This is William of Ashford, Guardian of New Avalon. All units, begin Liberation Protocol." "Liberation Protocol confirmed," came dozens of voices. Over the radio, "Beginning operations now." Across the galaxy, the hidden human fleet began to move. They appeared at Zephyrian worlds and military bases, not to destroy them, but to free the millions of humans and other peaceful aliens who had been enslaved by the Zephyrian Empire. General Vorthok's voice was filled with panic now. "This is impossible. We destroyed your empire. We scattered your people." "You destroyed nothing," William replied. "You fell for the greatest deception in galactic history. We let you think you had one, while we planned for this day." The truth was finally revealed. The human colonies that had been defeated by the Zephyrians had never really fallen. They had pretended to be conquered while secretly building the Guardian network. The primitive humans, who seemed so weak, had been gathering information and waiting for the right moment to strike back. Dr. Kevin Ross was studying the historical data that was now flooding in from across the galaxy. "William, this is incredible. There are human settlements on thousands of worlds. The population numbers. Humans aren't a small race at all. We're one of the largest civilizations in the galaxy. The Zephyrians made sure that different human worlds didn't know about each other," William explained. "They kept us divided and weak, but the Guardians maintained secret contact. We never lost touch with our true heritage." Above New Avalon, the Zephyrian fleet was surrounded by Guardian ships. General Vorthok's mighty warships looked tiny and helpless compared to the ancient human technology. "Surrender now," William broadcast to the alien fleet, "and your people will be treated with honor. Continue to fight, and you will discover why the galaxy once feared human warriors." General Vorthok made the mistake that sealed his fate. Instead of surrendering, he ordered his ships to attack the Guardian fleet. The battle was over in minutes. The Guardian ships moved like living things, dodging alien weapons and striking back with precision that was almost artistic. The Zephyrian warships, which had conquered dozens of worlds, were disabled or destroyed before they could fire more than a few shots. William felt no joy in the victory. "War is always tragic," he told Amy. "But sometimes it is necessary to protect those who cannot protect themselves." In the days that followed, the galaxy learned the truth about humanity. The Confederation of Worlds, which had seen humans as junior members, suddenly realized they were dealing with one of the oldest and most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Peaceful alien races who had been oppressed by the Zephyrians welcomed the returning humans as liberators. The few aggressive species quickly learned that attacking human worlds was no longer a safe option. William stood once again at the window of the horizon's edge, but now he was looking at a very different galaxy. Human ships moved freely between the stars, and the hidden colonies were revealing themselves one by one. Captain Ryan Torres joined him at the window. "So what happens now?" "Now we rebuild," William said. "But this time, we don't hide. The galaxy will know that humans are not to be threatened." "And you?" Amy Foster asked. "What will you do?" William smiled, and for a moment he looked like the confused knight they had first awakened. "I will do what knights have always done. I will protect those who need protection, and I will serve those who gave me life." Dr. Lisa Carter finished, compiling her report on the discovery. "This changes everything we thought we knew about human history. History is written by those who survive to tell it," William said. "For centuries, we let others write our story. Now we will write it ourselves." The transformation was complete. Humanity had stepped out of the shadows and taken its rightful place in the galaxy. The weak, scattered race that aliens had barely noticed was revealed to be a sleeping giant that had finally awakened. And it had all started with a medieval knight found sleeping in the ice, who turned out to be so much more than anyone could have imagined. William of Ashford, the last knight of England and the first guardian of humanity's new age, stood ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy might bring. The age of hiding was over. The age of human strength had begun, but most importantly, William had kept the promise that all true knights make to protect those cannot protect themselves, no matter what the cost in the end. That was what made him truly unstoppable. Not his enhanced abilities or his ancient technology, but his commitment to the oldest human values of courage, honor, and loyalty. The galaxy had learned to fear human weapons and human ships, but what they should really fear was the human heart never gives up when fighting for those it loves. And William of Ashford had found a new family among the stars, one worth fighting for until the end of time.